Hello everybody. Today we will discuss accident investigation. The contents of today's presentation include accident/incident investigation, incident investigation process, risk score calculation, guidelines for investigation, guidelines for team formation, root cause analysis, recommendation and release of report, and with certain examples. So, what it is known to you, by investigation we mean something has happened. Now, a team will go there and see what has happened, why that has happened, who was responsible, when it was happened, what are the severity of that happenings, what could have happened. What could have happened means what worse could have happened. All those things we want to identify, we want to measure. The purpose is you want the root cause analysis of that event happening, and based on this analysis you will take corrective as well as preventive actions, so that the same thing will not be repeated in future. So, almost all industries practice this program, accident investigation. Some cases we say it is incident investigation. The dividing line between accident and incident is known to you. Incident includes every sort of events, undesired events, and where accident has considered those events which are having high impact primarily. Nevertheless, incident investigation and accident investigation are now almost similar thing. So, we will focus on incident investigation. So, whenever an incident has taken place, in general the industry follow two phase of activities. One is incident logging and second one is incident investigation. So, incident logging means this phase involves logging the basic incident details either by the victim if it is a near miss or very negligible severity case, or the worker present at the time of the incident. Now, the basic information what is included in the report is location of incident, activity involved, immediate causes, incident narratives, risk scores, etc. Now, if the risk score is high, suppose an incident takes place whose potential score is high, then further investigations are taken place by a team. Now, that team comprises of different level of peoples depending on the severity, and based on the investigation recommendations are made, and those recommendations are likely to be implemented. So, it is a pictorial representation of incident investigation process. So, this is workplace, anything undesired event taken place here, that incident or near miss will be reported to section manager, and then what will happen, the section manager prepare investigation report by assessing the severity, then notify to section head, then section head ultimately form investigating team, and then the team will conduct investigation and submit the report to the head. Then what happened, that head again check investigation finding and release recommendation for actions, and then safety personnel will come into picture. Safety personnel verify for implementation. So, let me tell you, incident taken place, it will be first logged, it will go to the section manager. Section manager prepare investigation report by assessing the severity, it will be notified to head, and then head form a team, and then team conduct investigation report will be submitted to head, and then head pass on this thing to the section safety personnel. Safety personnel also see that that recommendations are implemented or not. It should be implemented. In certain cases, what happens, these things will be escalated to the higher level also. This is more or less the process which are practiced by large industries. Okay, there will be a little bit deviation here and there, but this is more or less the process of incident investigation. Then what information are collected during that investigation? So, we can list down several such what I can say issues, but primarily if you classify the issues that is to be reported during investigation, one is process related, technology related, physical environment related and human resource related. That is what Tania Mull book Productive Safety Management has enlisted. So, it is not exhaustive list to me. So, some of the issues are written down here. Need not be that you have to follow in this fashion. You may have your own way of doing these things, but more or less the questions are similar. From process related questions are where the safety procedure adequate, where the safety procedure not available, was the safety procedure not followed, was the procedure was followed incorrectly. Then technology wise, whether it was safe, whether the correct technology was used, whether they are maintained and operated in good conditions or not, all those things. Physical environment primarily relates to the physical environment related to lighting, related to heat, humidity and other things, so that those things must be comfortable for the workers to work. So, similar questions can be asked. Then human resource related, that was the person concerned was doing his normal duties, whether wearing appropriate PPE, whether competent or not, was the personnel trained on safety procedure, so many things are there. So, it is only a few questions I have added here. So, if you see an incident report from any good organization, you will be finding out that the report contains many things. There will be things like the time stamp when the accident has taken place, location stamp where the accident has taken place, then so many causes, immediate causes, intermediate causes, root causes, and then there will be the potentiality of those accidents, situations and some actions, recommended actions. So, and also a narratives, a report on narratives. So, many things will be there, and in fact, the accident report and analytics or incident analytics is a important I can say topic today. So, needless to say that your main work in incident investigation is to find out the root causes. These root causes further can be classified in terms of process, procedures, technology, physical environment, human resources and other things. Now, as you have seen that any incident when it takes place, so it is logged onto the system. Either it is an online system or offline system, but it is recorded, and then the risk of that particular incident is calculated. So, there can be many way of computing risk. One of the way which usually practice in industries, in good industries, that is probability and consequences. Now, probability from 1 to 5 scale, high probability of work occurring to rarely occurring, and consequences A2 is 5-point scale again from fatality to minor property damage or first aid. Now, when you utilize this 5 plus 5 and 5 consequence and 5 probability scale, you will be getting a qualitative matrix like this, and here you see that there are 3 different color zone. Red colored zone, all those cells they represent high risk, yellow colored zone cells represent the medium risk and low green colored zone represent the low risk. Or other way I can say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, where 1 means your probability is 1 and consequence is A. So, if the incident falls under this category, high risk category, so what will happen? Then your investigation team will be different than the incident having the medium risk category, and again in comparison to low risk category. Sometimes we do not require to go for further investigation, but for high risk cases it is always recommended that you must go for a team based investigation. Okay. So, how do you go for investigation? What are the guidelines? So, first of all, investigation should commence immediately for high risk incident. So, 1 to 6 scores. Investigation techniques to be clear to the team. Then following steps must be followed. First is visit the site, collect and analyze evidences, listing the finding from analysis, preparing report with corrective actions. And usually the report contains that what has happened, what was the effect and who was affected, what happened just before and after the accident, what was the operational, environmental, other conditions. Okay. So, that means you want to find out maybe who involved, what happened, where happened, why happened, when happened, how much loss. Okay. So many all why analysis will help you in finding out many of the root causes. Okay. Then you require to form team. So, you please understand that team is very important. If team is competent enough for investigation, then fine. Otherwise, what happen? The investigation will be fallacious in the sense that the key issues may not be identified by the team if the team is not having appropriate experts. So, that is why the personnel come from area or site expert, investigation technique expert, site or area safety personnel, HR personnel. And if the incident is of high risk nature, then the team should be led by senior management. If it is medium risk nature, led by section head. If it is low risk nature, then site or section manager. Okay. So, this is what is the qualitative nature or feature for the team, and this is based on the risk calculation given in earlier slide. So, who will be leading the team? Then once investigation is completed, then what you do? You will do root cause analysis. So, there are many root cause analysis techniques. In fact, we have described so many techniques for hazard identification and risk calculation, and I can say that if you want to do proper that incident investigation, many of the techniques what we have described earlier would be useful while you go for root cause analysis. So, like here some of the techniques I have further enlisted, like why analysis, fishbone analysis, human factor analysis, barrier analysis, many other analysis can be added here. Okay. Like I can say this bow tie is a very good tool that can be used for a root cause analysis of an incident. So, where fault tree and event tree are merged. So, I hope that you can relate this to the previous techniques what we have described so far. So, let us see some of these techniques. So, suppose you have data and you will collect data in this format, incident types, immediate cause, something like this. Now, if you analyze the cause, and you may find out that the cause type like unsafe condition, unsafe act by others, unsafe acts and condition, and then if you have accident investigation reports for several incidents, so you can very easily frame such pie chart. This pie chart will tell you that which condition, which causes, that basic causes are causing the accident or incident in your plant. So, here we can say that unsafe act is responsible for 46% of the accident that has taken place, whereas 33% by unsafe condition, and rest basically either unsafe act by others or unsafe acts and condition both. This is basically a data collected from a plant. So, and when they have analyzed the reasons for those accident, whether unsafe acts, unsafe condition or unsafe act by others or unsafe acts and condition both, then that the frequency analysis says that it is unsafe acts is the major contributor, followed by unsafe condition. Okay. So, this is one kind of description. If you, when you do accident investigation and record the data, over the years you have several incidents, several incident reports, and those reports if you analyze, one of the way of for cause wise you can find, if you classify cause in these 4 different classes, then what happen, you will ultimately find out such frequency analysis. Okay. We will see later also some descriptive statistics part related to accident data. Now, suppose you want to go little your team is very good, and you have, when you have investigated, you have also investigated apart from job designation of the victim, activity, but you have also identified injury potential, injury severity, the medium which basically causing the injury severity, which body parts are involved. So, then what happened, you can create, and also the interaction part, because if you recollect the negative interaction during accident, you will find out that the negative interaction because of person, because of system, or because of interface between that where system and person, but person is responsible, and interaction, negative interaction between system and person, but where system is responsible. So, such analysis, so when you have data, large data collected, then such analysis can be possible, and such an analysis we have done and in 2010, and that is available in Khanjode et al. 2010 in Applied Ergonomics Journal. There basically how injury potential is converted to injury severity, that path we have shown through mathematical modeling. But for the first place, it is not necessary that you have to know all those mathematical, rather you must know what are the things to be collected during accident investigations. Okay. Okay, so that injury potential, injury severity, medium, body part, job designation, activity, these are the some of the attributes that should be collected. There are many other attributes what we have discussed earlier, those will be there, like location stamp, time stamp, your causes, different kinds of causes, the SOP, process, then technology, so many things are there. So, all those attributes to be collected. Another way of going for root cause analysis is that you just develop the fishbone diagram, which is also known as Ishikawa diagram. This is very popular in quality domain. What it does basically, this is the effect. It is basically also known as cause and effect diagram. Cause and effect diagram. So this cause and effect diagram, basically the effect is this one, that is the fish head, and causes are basically fish bones. So this is one such diagram we have developed from incident records of a plant in India, and then we found out that these are the regions: electrical flash, slip, trip, fall, railroad, illness, crane, energy, tool equipment, material handling, structural integrity, working at height, road related, dashing, collision, process related. So many causes are involved. And again, if you try to find out the further dig down the causes related to process related, then this hot metal, hydraulic, fire, explosion, many things are there. In this manner, what will happen, you can go into the depth of the causes, which is maybe at the bottom level causes, which are the root causes. So incident, these are the broad immediate causes. Then further you are going to every immediate causes is dig down to the lower level, and in this way the fishbone diagram will give you a very good idea of why incidents are taking place at the industry or the plant at the shop floor. And also, if you have sufficient amount of data, you can find out frequency of all of the broad causes, that means immediate causes, then intermediate causes, then also the root causes. Okay. So this is a very good tool to go for root cause analysis. Then you will see that if you say that unsafe acts is the important one, then unsafe act primarily, even in some cases unsafe conditions are also related to the human problem. So human factor analysis is another important thing that is to be done, or the data related to human factors to be collected while investigating. So what are the threats related to human? That procedure, work preparation, job factors, personal factors, competence, teamwork, supervision, safety culture, work environment, human machine interface, tool equipment, and then these are the threats. These threats, finally you see that the situational awareness is important, like attention, detection, memory, interpretation, decision, assumption, response. And then there are a lot of error, and in fact human error we have dealt a little bit. In fact, around 5 lectures we have discussed for human error. So there you have seen that all those different kinds of error we have discussed. So ultimately these threats with the lack of situational awareness lead to different kind of errors, and that lead to accidents, and ultimately those errors can be recovered, or if the errors are recovered and ultimately lead to the near miss accidents. So it is a very good one, and I think that while investigating, please keep in mind that this human error part or human factors part must be looked into, and the relevant information must be collected, documented, and given in the report. Then you have seen the barrier analysis. So barrier analysis, here we are showing you one barrier analysis where leakage and spillage during hot metal transfer. So it can be because of structural or mechanical integrity, because of operator's integrity, because of many other reasons. So suppose one structural and mechanical integrity, then what happened, this is the primary safety barrier, and then you will find out the support safety barriers like this: inspection, then design, then quality of material, hoisting mechanism, logic. And you further, if you see that the implementation level what is happening, these are all, or I can say the probability initiating or influencing factors. So this proper inspection of brake condition after emptying ladle, proper visibility of these. So these things are basically ultimately gives you at the subfloor level, bottom level, what kind of barrier failures are taking place. So, that means when you develop the in team, you must know that ultimately the investigation report also should be able to make you the barrier failure, make you identifying the barrier failures. So, that is why the team must be having the technical person who will be able to tell what kind of technical problem has taken place, as well as the administrative problem. So, the team must be very good one, and so that the report will ultimately come in such a manner that not only the preliminary, that immediate cause analysis, intermediate cause analysis, root cause analysis in the sense we have discussed now possible, it is also lead to human factor analysis, lead to barrier analysis, and then ultimately the purpose of accident or incident investigation will be successful or will be achieved. So, then then we will see that once you do the investigation, ultimately what are the things recommendations you will be giving, and when you release report, what are the things should be there. Past recommendations should be searched to find out a repeat of similar incident. Recommendations should be SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. After making recommendation, the team should submit the report to the site area head. The report must contain information on affected particulars, facts of incident, detail of evidences, technical analysis, finding from analysis, recommendation of corrective actions. The head should examine and report on the basis of these things. Okay. So, this is basically based on our interactions with industries, and we are able to find out many documents, and different people have written different way. This is one of the way that recommendations should be made and report should be prepared. So, this is what is the descriptive part of accident investigation. So, nutshell, what happened when accident has taken place or incident has taken place, immediately it should be looked into, and the victim or the worker at that workplace, they will ultimately inform the concerned person, and they will basically record this one, and then the concerned person, what he will do, he or she will do, she will see the risk of that accident or incident, and depending on the risk, form team with different team members, then team member visit the place and thoroughly review what has happened, why has happened, all those things. And also recorded the information. The information should be of such high quality that it will lead to root cause analysis involving process, procedure, technology, human, environment related factors, and also it will lead to find out the human error, it will lead to develop the barrier failure analysis, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much. I hope that this lecture will really help you in future.